from the games that you have just witnessed. Tacos, welcome. Are you okay if I call you Tacos?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Perfect. I think that my first question has to go to where everyone's minds are, and that is, we've been sat here for a while, and it's only been 2 games. How on earth did you weather game 1?
Dude, honestly, I don't know how we did it, and if I'm being completely honest, it wasn't because of me, because I was feeling super tilted just of how the game was going on. I don't know, but I will have to say, primarily a lot of it has to do with our support. Nate, he was like a really good voice throughout the game. Like even when we were super down, he was still trying to be like, okay, guys, focus. You know, what are the timers? What are we looking for? You know, what are we looking to do? So if it was anybody or just one person, it was definitely Nate.
And I actually want to double down on that, because that's a really interesting point. So when you're getting in that first game, you're hitting those peaks of frustration, and we could see that on the gold graphs if we went and looked at the points where everyone got PO'd. What sort of things? So like your support, you said, is someone that really held things down, but what sort of things did you take into game 2 that helped you kind of work through those frustrations and really put out a much more decisive game 2?
A big part of it was winning the first game.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
that's fair enough.
Yeah, because you know, at a certain point, obviously we wanted to win, but at a certain point, I think it got to like a 50-minute game. You know, it was just exhausting to be in there. You know, win or lose, it just felt like it was really taxing on us as a team. So that definitely helped a lot. Aside from that, we had like some pre-game talk about you know, about keeping our head in the right space. You know, not getting too cocky, but still taking the confidence to try to win the second game.
Yeah, and actually, just moving into that second game as well. We talked about what changed and sort of how you managed to come back, but I noticed that your pick, the Samira, was really the only pick that didn't change at all. Everything else was really different, and I didn't feel like Samira was super enabled in that game. What won? What made you want to take her into game 2?
So a big part of picking Samira, at least for us in the draft, isn't just necessarily like her, like how she can pop off in fights. It kind of limits the enemy team in a way. For just a big example, if you pick Samira, it's really hard to pick Ornn into her because Samira W just nullifies Ornn R. And the same thing goes for any like hook-based champion or any projectile-based champion. So it wasn't necessarily that I felt like I could pop off, but it was more so that it limits their picks a lot just by picking Samira.
And actually, I want to follow up on that very quickly. How do you feel about the Tarek pick into it?
It's super annoying. It's
Okay.
it's definitely annoying, but I feel like it's one of those where we can definitely play around it. I know that there's a couple of times at least where we purposefully tried to pop the Tarek ult before the fight, and then you know get, or not necessarily before the fight, but before play, and then you know trying to push our advantage with that.
And so this will be my last question. And so moving through the rest of this season, so you know, you guys obviously walk away with a very nice 2-0 today. What will you be working on through this week and ultimately through the season to help you kind of do this again, more of game 2 than game number 1, obviously?
I would have to say that I feel like individually we're all really good players, and our team fight or our team macro in general is getting way better. I feel like something that we do have to work on is just keeping our spirits up if we are down in the beginning, because I know that's like it definitely affected us the first game, and it was starting to affect us the second game because of how it started. But you know we had a better grasp that time. But definitely like working on our on keeping our heads in the game and what we can do to win rather than just focus on the loss or the what it looks like a loss.
Yeah. Like trying not to, what is it called?
Getting in your own head.
There we go. Getting in your own head, I think is going to be really big. And actually continuing on that vein into the rest of the season, I noticed that next week you guys are going up against one of our stronger teams, CGC. And I don't know if you tuned into the show at the beginning, but you're also relatively high up in our power rankings, and you're a relative unknown for people like myself and Paul who haven't seen you guys play in this tournament before. But I'm wondering, as a team that is performing at a relatively high level right now, what you're looking to take away from a game against CGC, and where it is that you think that you'll be challenged next week to grow even further. I know it's a
Well,
complex question. Take whatever you want.
no. Well, firstly, I will have to say that we're definitely no, we're not ignoring it, right? We're definitely
Mm.
focusing on a lot because we do know CGC is a very strong team. Um, so I feel like mainly we definitely have to do our homework on CGC and how they like to play and what they like to play. But honestly, I feel like our biggest improvements will come from kind of refining what we can already do
Mhm.
and looking within our team to see what we can improve rather than looking at their team, if that makes sense.
I think that
Because
absolutely makes sense. Yeah.
yeah, because I feel like I don't know, I don't want to get too cocky, right? But I
Mm.
definitely feel like our team can definitely win it all. So it's just about refining what we can do and kind of perfecting what we're good at already.
And hey, we could use a Titan Slayer as well. So if you guys can take some games, maybe even take the series next week against CGC, I am more than happy to see it because I want to see you guys perform really well. I really enjoyed your games today, and I want to see if we can take that even into playoffs as well. Before we kind of wrap up the broadcast, I was wondering, do you have any shout outs for yourself or your team?
Yes, I definitely do. Again, shout out Nate, best support in NA. Peter, best looking top laner in NA. Our mid laner Spurge, best. I don't know. Spurge and Eamon are there, but they're super cool. They're awesome. My whole team's amazing. And I don't know. I really think we can take it all. So I'm super happy for our team, and I'm just excited to play more games.
All right, thank you so much for joining us on the interview. And like I said, I'm very excited to see you guys as well. For the rest of the audience, I just want to go over what has already happened tonight. We already have, like we saw here, Mizzou Esports falling 0-2 to Anarchy Fallen Paladins, courtesy of Tacos the Arena and his entire team. Lotus has taken the victory over Booyah Exiles at 2-1.
Whoa.
3 games in the space that it took us to do 2, Paul.
That's okay. So that's a major upset alert because, especially in light of the fact that we came on here pretty confidently for our power rankings and weren't really sure where to put Lotus, and we did have them as for this power couple, we had them in 8th place, and so that actually gives us something to sleep on, and they probably moved their way up because we think Exiles is a pretty good team themselves. So that's a really impressive outing for them.
But importantly, Booyah Exiles are also worse than FGCU because our power rankings are the most correct of all of them.
Fancy pepper.
But also, moving into the rest of the matches, we have FGCU Thunderbirds also falling 0-2 to CGC. The Titans, who will be playing against Anarchy Fallen Paladins next week. And Vlad Banner's only very much an up-and-coming team that I'm excited to watch as soon as we get them on stream, because they've had a series of very good games, taking this week once again a 2-0 over WYO Boomers.
Yeah, and just really, really great play tonight, and we've got a lot to look forward to next week. I mean, I want to see if Anarchy can take a game off CGC, and I think they welcome the challenge in a big way that maybe some other teams aren't able to put on their shoulders. I think after this week, I mean, we heard Tacos mention that they were PO'd. They were not happy that it had to go for that long, and it was quite literally a slog fest. And so now I think I'm very excited to see ultimately what transpires for next week. I think Lotus Vlad Banners only could be really interesting. I mean, we have Vlad number 2, but maybe Lotus is much better than we thought, and that would be, I think, they're coming like their breaking out party, if you will, if they're able to take that one.
Yeah, I'd be really excited to see it, and I'm more than that, I'm excited to see all of you here next week, because we are going to be coming back every Thursday with another match of heavyweight all the way through the finals. So don't forget to tune in here on the XLNC broadcast. That has been all for tonight. This is myself, Dia, and Paul signing off. But more importantly, we want to thank people like Beatdown Boulevard and Zephyr, who are off on the analyst desk right now, and Jake Kelton, who works behind the scenes. We've got an incredible production staff right here, and I look forward to working with them once again in the weeks to come. We'll see you all then, and have a great night.